Hey, hey you, do you watch tennis? Have you watched tennis? Have you taken up any interest in playing the sport? If not, I am the perfect person to get you interested in the world of the sport. My name is Miles David, and right now is the beginning of the 2024 tennis season. The best players in the world are all in Australia, and I'm about to tell you why you should care. And now is a perfect time to get you tuned into tennis. That's my job, to get you tuned into tennis. Follow along and I'll make you care, I promise. All right, before I go any further, I host a podcast called Tuned Into Tennis. Did I point in the right direction? You know what's up. Go to Spotify, Apple, all the above, and download it. I can go a lot more in depth into what's going on in the sport there. Like I was saying, the best players in the world have all gone down to Melbourne, Australia for the first major tournament, also known as a Grand Slam, of the year. I mean, the best of the best around the world are competing for the trophies down under in Melbourne, Australia. Here are a couple of the first round matches that are getting underway this weekend. Mark that down on your calendars. This weekend, the tournament starts. And these are some of the most electric first round matches on the women's side. Now, if you want to see me do a part 2 for the men, make sure to share, like, and what else can you do with this content? Yeah, engage. That's what we want. We want engagement in tennis, okay? First up, we have world number 1 Iga Swiatek versus former Australian Open champion Sofia Kenin. This is also a rematch of the French Open 2020 women's singles final. Sofia Kenin is currently around the top 30 in the world, and it could present a problem to Iga, but if Iga plays her best, she wins that match. But stay tuned. Up next, we have Danielle Collins, American, versus German Angelique Kerber. Angelique Kerber won the Australian Open back in 2016, and Danielle Collins got to the final in 2022. Ironically enough, the two have actually played in Melbourne before, and Collins spanked Kerber off the court in straight sets. It was actually one of my favorite victories Collins has ever had. If you know, you know. But because Kerber is on the comeback trail after giving birth to her child. So this is her first Grand Slam coming back, so that could get very interesting. Another interesting first round match is between Elena Rybakina of Kazakhstan, who is the defending finalist from 2022. She takes on Karolina Pliskova, who has been to the semifinals of the event before, not playing her best, is a former world number 1, but it could be an interesting matchup because they both like to take the ball early, hit flat, and dictate. So could be a fireworks match in the first round. Speaking of fireworks, we have the return of the 2-time champion in Australia, Naomi Osaka, versus Caroline Garcia. Caroline Garcia is a top 20 player. She's been touted to be one of a future world number 1s in women's tennis. Hasn't quite got that far, but does have some great achievements under her belt. And Naomi Osaka, 4-time Grand Slam champion. This is her first Grand Slam since having a baby, and we are all excited to see her play. A little bit of a tough draw getting a top 20 player, but Osaka and Garcia have actually played in Melbourne before, and Osaka won the match pretty handily in straight sets. That should be a great matchup. Get your popcorn ready. And while you have your popcorn in your hand, you may want to stick around and watch a little bit of Raducanu, 2021 US Open champion, versus Shelby Rogers, who Raducanu actually beat en route to that US Open trophy. Shelby Rogers has been off the tour for a little while, and Raducanu has been dealing with some injuries, so it's funny enough that they're playing each other in the first round because both of them come in on protected rankings. So that should be an interesting matchup. The camera should be out for that one. And last but certainly not least, a personal favorite of mine, Taylor Townsend, who you may know more for her doubles success. She's been to the finals of the US Open and the French Open in doubles, versus Paula Badosa, who you may know from Netflix's Breakpoint fame, or you might know her just from being Stefano Tsitsipas's boyfriend. I'm not sure which one is more important. But that should be an interesting matchup. Taylor brings the lefty all-court game to the court, and Paula Badosa has actually not played very much since Wimbledon of last year with some back injuries. So I'm always waiting for Taylor Townsend to have a really, really big breakthrough in singles. I think she can. This could be a match that sparks it for her. So this is a match you definitely want to watch. All right, hopefully I've walked you through enough and you care at least a little bit more about what's about to happen at the Australian Open. Make sure to follow Tuned Into Tennis on all your social platforms for more up-to-date information about the sport. No one's going to give you the best tennis information